AEW Dynasty 2025. Let's just say that wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. We're breaking down the three horrible booking decisions that had fans scratching their heads and honestly maybe even yelling at their screens. From baffling finishes to head-scratching storylines, we're going to be diving into the moments that made us go, wait, what? Get ready for some serious wrestling rants because these booking blunders need to be addressed. As an AEW fan, I'm mad. And I think we need to start it all off at the length of this show. Tony Khan insists on booking these long, enduring pay-per-view events. For the longest time, I always questioned why. And I had heard this from Saw Monster, who was talking about how Tony Khan is a huge wrestling fan. And he can just sit there and watch wrestling all day long. He can do it for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. It don't matter to him. Well, it does to us. It does to us because we started the main event of John Moxley versus Swerve Strickland. I'm going to get to that. At 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is after we had seen 4 hours of everything. When you buy an AEW pay-per-view event, you know a few things going into it. Number one, you know it's going to be at least 3.5 hours to 4 hours long. And you know you are going to get the best wrestling on the freaking planet. Most storylines make sense. You may not agree with necessarily the finishes, but like you know where they're going into the show, you know where they're going out of the show, and then you're going to get one surprise. You're going to see all styles of wrestling, and I'm very appreciative of that. You shell out your $50, and by God, they give you your money's worth. But you don't need 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 matches on a freaking match card and have them all go 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes long. You don't need that because by the time that you get to the main event, you've witnessed every style, every finish, every move, everything up until the main event, and then the main event has nothing to show for, right? That is an issue. But the lengths of these pay-per-view events are becoming a serious problem in which AEW has to address. This is ridiculous that you have fans actively complaining on social media to the point where Uncle Dave Meltzer, all the respect in the world, dude is a goat when it comes to his past reporting. I know he has his moments, but like, dude is a real one, right? In terms of paving the way for reporters and everything like that. But like, when you have Dave Meltzer, who will defend AEW over almost anything, and anything that Tony Khan does, when he's saying, yeah, this show was way too long, you have a problem. You have to address it now. In Tony Khan's defense, in AEW's defense, two things. Number one, they put on a banger of a show. The ending sucked. We'll get into that. The rest of the show, it was really, really good. A lot of it was good. But you also have to commend him because used to, we would have an hour and a half pre-show, sometimes 2-hour pre-show, and we had 4 matches on there. And it's like, why? We don't need these matches on here. These are collision matches. These aren't even dynamite matches. These are collision matches. And on this show, you know, you had one trios bout that was very, very good. AR Fox put on a banger of a performance. And then you had a squash, which we're going to get to in a minute. So at least you had those, but like, what are we doing? At number 2, it's Max Caster getting squashed by Anthony Bowens. As I was just talking about, so we had this pre-show, and we knew going in, Max Caster was going to be holding an open challenge. Ooh, open challenges. Everybody likes that. Who's going to answer it? Well, in this case, we all knew who was going to answer that challenge. We knew it was going to be a familiar face. We knew it was going to be Anthony Bowens. And to AEW's credit, they made it count. But I still had an issue with it, and I'll tell you why. The reason that I had an issue with this is because this could have easily been saved on television. You didn't need it on the show because by the time you got, you know, an hour into the pay-per-view event, you forgot about it, right? And this was supposed to be Bowens' breakout moment. So you had Max Caster. Obviously, he broke up their tag team months ago, and he's been floundering as a single star, and I feel bad for him, but like, maybe he wanted a singles run. I don't know, but they're better off as a tag team than anything. They had something, and then they just lost it, and Max is just lost in the shuffle. And so you had Bones come out here. He had new ring entrance music, which is a banger. He had new gear, looked like $1 million. Good stuff here. But this is supposed to be a grudge match. This is supposed to be a rivalry match. This is supposed to be Bowens finally getting his big comeuppance, finally getting his revenge. And he goes out there and he hits a few moves and he squashes Max Caster in like a minute or two, and that's it. And it's like, well, you can't go anywhere from here. Like, this is dead. You can't do anything else. That's what they did. I disagree with it, but John went with it. All right, let's talk about it. AEW, John Moxley, AEW World Heavyweight Champion John Moxley, and that defending against Swerve Strickland. We are a month removed away from Revolution. What happened at Revolution? Well, we all thought it was going to be Adam Copeland dethroning John Moxley as AEW World Heavyweight Champion. We are going to finally put an end this horrific storyline that we know is the Death Riders, right? No, we didn't get that. What did we get instead? Well, I'll tell you what we got instead. We got Copeland going over in that show, in that match. Now, Swerve laid out Moxley at the end of that show. That's all good. And we went into Dynasty, which was a situation where everyone was hoping that it was going to be John Moxley's night to lose. And I noticed this in the betting odds on Bet Online, where it was, well, John Moxley's like a minus 140, 145 favorite. And I'm like, it's not a bad number if you want to take. And I thought that was surprising. Sure enough, we had John Moxley retain the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, right? How'd he do it? Well, we had outside interference from the Death Riders. Yeah, we always get that, right? We can count on that, if you will. And then we had the lights go out. And then they came back on. And who's in the ring? It's the Young Bucks. Okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense storyline-wise, but sure. Aren't they supposed to be EVPs, right? Like that was their whole gimmick before that floundered. Like, did not work at all. It seems like the further they get away from like what got them over in the first place, the worse off they are. They're still a great tag team. One of the best tag teams I've ever seen in my life. Great in-ring workers. But this gimmick did not work. Right? They're pairing with Okada. Did not work. The EVP thing did not work. The back before that did not work. Like, we might want to get back to like 2020 Young Bucks, 2021 Young Bucks here. Because this is not working. But hey, maybe they'll pick it up. And they come out there and they screw over Swerve, and John Moxley retains, and it's like, we had to sit through another John Moxley is a very good in-ring performer. He's a very good pro wrestler. But I think he has taken the storyline so far out that I don't know he knows how to fix it. I don't think anybody can fix the storyline. It's a swing and a miss, and that's okay. You got to learn how to pivot, though, folks. Like, if something doesn't work, don't take it personal. You just move to something else and see if that will work. And if that doesn't work, then you pivot to see if something else will work. And you will try and try again until you ultimately fail. And this storyline, and this gimmick, and this character is an absolute flop. It's been a flop since day one. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We don't even get to see your World Heavyweight Championship. And people can say, well, he's doing that to defend the character. And I go, no, you look like you are embarrassed that you are the AEW World Heavyweight Champion and you don't even want to show the title belt. That's what that is to me. It's like, if you're proud, if you don't like the title design, redesign it. If you're a heel, like we've seen that song and dance from both babyface and heels. You can redesign the championship, but show us that you're the world champion. Show us that you take pride in the fact that you are the world champion of this promotion, right? And we had this finish. We had this finish yet again. John Moxley retains the title yet again. I do not understand it. I don't get it. I don't know why Tony Khan is insistent on it, but by God, he is. It's unfortunate. It sucks. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's where the chips lie. That's where the cards are dealt. AEW Dynasty was a good show up until the main event. Same song and dance as Revolution. Back-to-back months of this. Hey, you thought we were done here. No. One quick thing. If you would, let me know your thoughts on this video. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What I get wrong? What I get right? I'd love to hear your voice down below. Thanks for watching, y'all.